by the way? My husband and the kiddo in the hall.
Yeah, a little. Okay. How are you this week, Michelle?
Hey, Dawn. I'm surviving, I guess is the best way to put it. How about yourself?
I'm good. Good. So before we get started here, I'll just mention that everything that we discuss here within our session is confidential. So from there, how was your week? I know it was potentially going to be a stressful one for you.
It was very stressful and very long. I made it through, though, and it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, so that was kind of nice. I think I mentioned last time that I had my military training Thursday through Sunday this past weekend, so that I was in charge of some things that I didn't want to be in charge of again that were really stressing me out, but it ended up working out pretty well and didn't go as badly as it did my last drill weekend because, I had to do the same thing last time and it was not good. So I made it through. It was really cold, but other than that, it went well. And I already feel like it's turned into a long week. These classes I'm taking are trying to kill me via heart attack or give me a mental breakdown of some sort. I'm not sure yet. But I'll make it. It'll be all right.
So how often do you do your military training then?
Typically it's once a month, but we had a new commander come in and he kind of decided that he wanted to do some longer drill weekends on most months and then some other, 2 or 3 months a year, we would have a month off where we would not have drill. So in a way it's good because we get more done in one weekend. Because you're trying to fit, a whole 3 or 4 weeks worth of military stuff into 2 or 3 days. And that's really hard to do, and it can be very stressful. So in a way, it's nice to have those 1 or 2. It just makes for a really long weekend, and we all have to take time off of our civilian jobs, and some people take a pay cut when they do their drill weekend versus working at their civilian jobs, so that's stressful as well. People, thankfully, but so. In March, we don't have a drill weekend, which is great. And I think part of that is because it is typically spring break. And so they were trying to make sure everybody would, have time to go somewhere with their kids and not have to worry about, do I need to fit this around my training? And so our next drill is going to be, the first or second weekend of April. So I have a little bit of a break, about 6 weeks or so. And that's kind of nice to think about.
Definitely. So, with your classes then, how are those going for you? You mentioned that those have been kind of stressful this week for you.
They have been really stressful, but they're going all right. It is what it is. Can't do a whole lot to change it, so I just kind of go with the flow and do the best that I can, and it seems to be working pretty well so far, so I can't complain.
So, out of everything that happened this week, what would you say was your gold nugget moment? Did you have any of those?
Oh, gosh, my gold nugget, that's really hard to find. There were a couple of good things that came out of this past weekend. Into transferring back to my old unit, which is a medical unit, and it's a little bit slower pace than the unit that I'm in right now. And the, I guess you could say the slot that I would be going into is about 2 pay grades above what my current pay grade is, so I could get promoted twice, which would be great. So I've contacted some people about making that happen, and the response I got was very positive, so that made me really excited. Plus, let's see, there's an Army school I'm trying to go to starting at the end of March that will help me get my next promotion, hopefully next January or February timeframe. And we're working on getting that approved. My chain of command is very focused on trying to get me approved for that class. So that makes me really happy because technically I shouldn't be going to it yet because I'm not selected for promotion. There's a whole long process and background to all that, and it would take forever for me to try to explain it all. But so that was really good. So I'm excited that they have my back on that. Let's see what else. My child is running a really high fever Sunday night and ended up not being sick. So that was really great. I think every parent can relate to that and be excited about it. Let's see. And I made it through drill weekends without losing my mind. So I guess those are definitely some positive things that happened the last few days. So, I take what I can get.
Sometimes I think just life comes at you so hard or whatnot that it's just like you just have to take what you can get, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting weird feedback on the sound?
Oh goodness!
Is that giving you weird feedback on the sound?
I what? You kind of broke up.
Is it giving you weird feedback on the sound?
Kind of a little bit here and there. It breaks up a little bit, but
yeah,
mostly it's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for doing the assessments. That's did you kind of learn anything while you were putting those together, or see any sort of insights?
Well,
or
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch all of that.
I was just saying thank you for filling out the assessments. And through that process, did you have anything that you, I guess that was just insightful for yourself, taking that time to reflect?
No, not really. I know that sounds terrible, but I've just been so tired and stressed out that when I was filling them out, I was like, some of these questions are really deep and very thought-provoking, and I was like, I can't even handle this right now. My brain is just too worn out, and that sounds really terrible, but unfortunately, that's just kind of how I've been rolling lately, is always tired and always stressed out. So yeah, that's great.
So looking at those, would you say that you've got, I guess starting off, what would you think that your, if you were in a perfect world sort of setting, what's your vision? Where would you like to see your life kind of go here in the next maybe 5 years or whatnot?
Wow, that's opening up a can of worms right there. Gosh, in a perfect world, let's see, I would be fully self-employed. My health insurance agency would be thriving, which there is definite possibility for that. So hopefully that will actually happen in the next. Wow, that made a lot of sense. That will actually happen hopefully in the next couple of years, because I am the only person in town that does health insurance. So there's a lot of potential for me to, eventually maybe stop working full time for somebody else and go work for myself full time. Let's see. I would also be able to work out almost every day if I wanted to, which would be phenomenal. Hopefully, I did injure my shoulder over the weekend a little bit, so I went to the doctor yesterday because, she told me, she basically gave me two options. She said I can either do a steroid shot right now, or if you want to let it rest for, the next few days and see how it goes, and if it's not better, you can come back in and we'll take another look. I opted to let it rest for a little while because steroid injections suck. I've had some of those before. So my plan was to start working out this week, and now I've had to put that on hold. again, which is very frustrating. So in a perfect world, I would not be hurt and, injured, and I'd be able to work out whenever I wanted. So that would be phenomenal. And I would also get enough sleep. That's something that's still, as a parent of a young child, that's not something that happens very often. So that would be phenomenal. And I'd also get to read books for fun and do whatever I wanted to. So hopefully, after this semester is over and I'm graduated, some of those things will actually, come into being, and I'll be able to pursue other activities.
Right. So I'm hearing you say that sleep is an issue or something that you would love to see more of happen. And being able to maybe incorporate some exercise on a regular basis, and being able to maybe indulge in some reading and you time.
Yes, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah. So, do you practice self-care at all at your current stage here?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, that's okay.
Do
you practice self-care at all?
Probably not. I would like to say yes, but I would probably be kidding myself and completely untruthful. I don't really get a lot of time right now for self-care. With my husband, he is self-employed and really busy, actually. Plus I go to school full-time, I work full-time, there's a baby, and, so I don't get a whole lot of time for myself. The few times that I do, I totally take advantage of it. I'm not even going to lie about that. But it doesn't happen very often. So that's another thing that I'm looking forward to when this semester is over and I'm graduated. I don't have to worry about school anymore. I'll have a lot more free time, and I'm very excited about that because I would like to be able to, relax and, like you said, indulge in some self-care. Get my nails done every now and then. Just be lazy and sit down and read a book because I can, because I have the time and I don't have anything else, that I absolutely have to do, like homework, things that people don't really like to do.
Right.
So,
right.
Hopefully soon.
So how long has it been since you've actually your schedule has allowed you to practice some self-care?
Man, it's been a few years, and that sounds really horrible. I don't even remember, honestly. Oh, that sounds so bad. I don't even remember. I don't really remember a time that I wasn't in school. I've been working towards my bachelor's degree for a very long time. Kind of on and off, more on than off. I've changed my my degree like 3 or 4 times probably, which is really bad. My husband was really frustrated at me for a while for that. So yeah, it's been a while since I've, not had something, just pulling at me one way or the other. So it'll be nice, and I cannot even put into words how much I'm looking forward to the end of this semester.
I can imagine. Sounds like you've been hard at it for quite a while.
The better part of a decade, actually, maybe a little more than a decade, unfortunately. So yeah, quite some time. So terrible.
So right now, when you do get to actually have any sort of downtime, do you get to recharge at all?
Not as often as I would like. Generally, the only time that I kind of get close to that is, if the baby goes and stays with her grandparents for a weekend or something. And most of the time they're pretty good about saying, oh, hey, we'll keep her for a couple days. And, so that's really fantastic, and it's great and a little bit relaxing for me. But even though I'm not worrying about, taking care of her, I still have my other obligations, like schoolwork and whatever military stuff I have going on. And, sometimes stuff for my health insurance agency, because that is on the side for the time being. It's in addition to my full-time job. So sometimes I have to meet clients, on the weekends and whatnot, so that it doesn't interfere with my normal work day. So not very often that I get to relax and unwind a little bit, sadly.
So when your semester ends, you're just going to go wild?
Probably a little bit. My husband and I have actually been talking about, taking like a little weekend trip or so, dropping the baby off with one of her grandparents and maybe going down to, there's a town not too far from here called Fredericksburg, and they have a whole bunch of wineries in the area, and they have great shopping downtown, and apparently they have a really nice golf course, which my husband's excited about. Personally, I could care less because I don't like golf. I'm not very good at it. So we'll probably take another couple with us so that the guys can go golf, and then us girls, we can go, at least do some window shopping and, maybe have a spa day or something. But he's already, that was his idea. It wasn't even my idea. And so that makes me pretty happy that he's trying to take care of me and make sure that I get some serious relaxation after the semester's over. He's as ready for it to happen as I am, so,
That sounds pretty heavenly.
I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. So, when I looked over your wellness wheel, and then also your wellness vision or whatnot, the one thing that kept kind of jumping out at me was it just seemed like you're just so inundated with stress.
Yeah, sadly, I really am, and it comes from, all areas. The only thing that doesn't really stress me out, I guess, is my full-time job, which is kind of funny. I really enjoy it, and it's not, to be redundant, it's not really a high-stress kind of job. It's because I'm not actually selling insurance anymore. It's kind of one of those, I work for the agents in the office, and I help them run new quotes as they bring them in, or do policy changes for current clients and whatnot. And so it's a very low-stress job, and I enjoy it a lot. Honestly, my two biggest stressors right now are school and my Army obligations. And I think a lot of it has to do with the unit that I'm assigned to currently. I think we might be possibly ramping up for deployment in the next year or two, which I'm not going to lie, I'm not very excited about that. So I think that's why things have been a little bit extra stressful, is they're sort of trying to prepare us for potentially having to go overseas. But yeah, there's a lot of stress going on, and I'm definitely ready to be, through with it, because I don't like being this stressed out all the time. My husband doesn't like me being this stressed out all the time. And it's not good for my health. I know that. And I don't have time to incorporate all of those things that I like to do that help me relax and de-stress and stop thinking about, some of the things that are sort of bothering me throughout the day, So, yeah, it's great.
So maybe our next session, would you be interested in talking about maybe some ways that you can incorporate some stress reduction exercises, or, exercises, breathing, even maybe physical exercises, or just little things that you could incorporate into your day trying to relieve some stress, or maybe even trying to incorporate a little mini session of self-care or something like that. Are those all things that might be of interest to you?
Yes, actually, I do think it would. I have taken a really small step, and I did download an app the other day that is supposed to help me incorporate some, I guess, like breathing and sort of meditating type exercises into my day. I haven't really had a chance to look through it and see, what it specifically can offer me, but it had really, really good ratings. I'm really big on, reviews and ratings on things, and so I liked that people had really good things to say about it. So I'm hoping at some point that I will have a chance to sit down and kind of go through the app and see what it's about and set it up so that, I can actually get some sort of, some sort of benefit out of it. But yes, I would absolutely love to have some more, ideas and recommendations for ways that I can just kind of, and breathe and just, forget about everything, even if it's just for a few minutes. I would love that. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see here. I've got some notes, so I'm just flipping through those really quick. So, So when we kind of talk about how you would like to envision your life here within the next few years or whatnot, what sort of good things do you think will come from that?
I think that I will be a lot less stressed out. It wouldn't really take much to make me a lot less stressed out. I would have more time to spend with my family, which I would absolutely love, because we are, sort of talking about having another child in the next year or two. It's a little scary. But I think we're almost ready to get that going. And I would, which is really great, and, myself being self-employed, sorry, that's kind of redundant. If I was self-employed as well, it would be fantastic because, we could sort of coordinate taking a family vacation, and we could do it anytime we wanted to, not having to worry about, is, this other person at work trying to take a vacation at the same time? Oh, can they afford for me to be gone right now because maybe this is a really busy part of the year? And I would just like to, not have to worry about anything but myself and my family. And I don't want to have to think about whether or not I'm disappointing, my employer because I'm taking a vacation for a week. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I feel like it would be, even though my full-time job is not really very stressful, it still is a little bit of added stress. And it would be nice to not really have to worry about that. And I can work from home. I can work wherever I want. So even if we had to go out of town for something, I could still be working. I can respond to emails. I can take phone calls. I can do quotes for people if need be. And, that's something that just kind of excites me, the thought of working for myself and not having to worry about, having somebody be in charge of me and say, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it into better words.
Well, it sounds like you're really motivated to be able to work for yourself. I feel like I am. I just kind of picked a bad time of the year to get into health insurance. I started my agency, I guess about sort of halfway through the open enrollment season for health insurance. One of the major companies that I am contracted with, there's actually no open enrollment period. They're technically not a health insurance company. They specialize in health shares. And so they're sort of faith-based and
it's a really great company, but anybody can enroll anytime they want to throughout the year, which is fantastic, and they're very affordable, which is, around where I live, people don't make a lot of money, and so it's a really great option for around here. So it's, like I said, I kind of picked a bad time of the year, and so I'm hoping, in the next couple of years, things will kind of pick up, because I can do group health insurance as well. But most companies, they wait till towards the end of the year to do their open enrollment, even though, they can do it anytime they want to throughout the year. But it just makes sense to have it start on January 1st, so, they kind of do it during normal open enrollment period. So hopefully things will pick up a little bit towards the end of this year, and then maybe the end of next year. I do really like my full-time job, and so I would like to work there for a little while and, get my things really going and secure with my health insurance agency so that I can get myself to a point where, I can quit my full-time job and go work for myself, 100%, and, not be worried that, hey, I'm not bringing in enough money, so I'm trying to be very motivated. So sometimes it's just hard to get things going.
It sounds like that would accommodate the vision that you have, and in your family life, and the things that are important to you. I think they would. I mean, like I said, that whole aspect of basically doing whatever I want and whenever I want that's something that's always appealed to me, and it's a really difficult thing to accomplish in this day and age, is to work for yourself. And, living in a small town, it's easier, because the cost of living here is a lot lower than it is, in big cities and whatnot. So it's easier to go into business for yourself, and you're not competing against, all these other businesses that are the same. I mean, there's nobody else in the town that I live in that does health insurance. I'm the only one. And I'm also going to be doing Medicare supplements and that sort of thing here soon, which will be phenomenal, because there's a lot of people around here that need help with that. But I think the nearest place that does it is like 30, 45 minutes away. And when you're in that Medicare age group, you don't want to drive that far to go talk to somebody, because they don't really like talking to people on the phone. They want to meet you face to face and, see the person that they're working with. And, so that's something that it really kind of excites me. I don't know, maybe that's kind of weird, but I don't know. I really like the idea of helping people with regular, home and auto insurance like I was doing before. I didn't feel like I was really helping anybody. And people were just angry about their high rates and whatnot, and I'm like, I can't do anything about it. But with health insurance, I have all these companies that I'm contracted with, and, so I can run quotes through pretty much, 5 or 6 different companies if I want to, which is great because I can help people find the best policy for their budget. And that just makes me really happy. And so I really want to be able to help people. And I feel like that's kind of my niche is, going about doing it that way. Mm-hmm. It's good to feel like you're kind of finding your purpose and making a difference. You find that is important to you.
Mm-hmm. I do, and I do want to help people, and that's what I've always wanted to do. And so I've kind of worked in the medical field a little bit for several years, and I really enjoyed it. And it was more on the administrative side, and I really liked that, but it wasn't really something that I saw myself doing long term, I guess. And so I got into the insurance game for a little while, and it was okay, but when I started getting more into the health insurance side of it and, with the voluntary benefits, like supplemental policies, that was where it really, kind of hooked me and reeled me in. And so that's really, I think, where my interest lies, and I'm really excited to try to help people in the area because I know they don't make a lot of money, but they need coverage that they can't afford, like Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever, and the small businesses in the area, I can help them offer coverage to their employees where they've never done that before. It's just kind of one of those. There's a lot of gratification in it for me, which I guess sounds kind of selfish, but I want to be able to help people somehow. That's some way that's meaningful. And I feel like this is meaningful for this area where I live.
I think it's great. I do. You just hit on so many different things there, just even population-wise and kind of your demographics there that you're hitting on, and that's really, it's hugely important. So that's wonderful.
Well, thank you. I'm pretty excited about it, and looking forward to really getting things going.
Yeah. Good. Well, Michelle, did you have anything specific that you wanted to talk about this week at all?
I don't think so. I think I really kind of covered it when we were talking about all the stress that I've got going on right now, and I'm really frustrated about having to push back my whole I'm ready to start working out thing because of my shoulder. So that's very annoying, and but I'm very familiar with how injuries can, really get worse if you kind of put off treatment and you don't take time to let things rest and rehab. With my husband, he's had like 8 surgeries in the last 6.5 years or so.
Oh wow!
So I've seen how that's been with him, and I don't want to end up having the same issues. So I'm trying to let it rest a little bit and hope that it kind of gets back to its own. And I mean, if not, then I'm going to go back and to the doctor and see what we can do about it. It is very frustrating because I was really excited to start working out this week, and now I have to wait for a few more days. But it is actually causing me some additional stress because I have to take. So I mentioned earlier that I was trying to go to a school starting in March. That's about 3 or 4 weeks. I have to pass a PT test within 30 days of going to that school. Plus, I have to take a PT test while I'm at that school. Doing push-ups, which kind of exacerbate the issue with my shoulder right now. So it's very frustrating for me because I'm like, I need to get working on that and make sure that I'm ready. Mm-hmm. But I have to, wait a few more days to make sure that I'm not going to injure it further. So we'll see how it goes. I'll make it work one way or another.
Well, maybe next week when we meet, maybe we can take and talk about maybe some exercises that you could do to kind of work around your shoulder or whatnot, but still maybe be moving towards your PT tests. Does that sound, is that a doable thing, do you think, or?
Yeah, I think that would be doable. I'm usually pretty good about finding alternate exercises. Sometimes instead of regular push-ups, I'll do push-ups on my knees, which is a little less stressful, or incline push-ups or whatever, so that there's not as much weight on my arms and shoulders and whatnot. To kind of build up towards doing regular push-ups. So, yeah, that's definitely something I've actually been kind of thinking about looking into anyway. So, hopefully I'll have some other options if need be. I'm hoping that I won't need them. But I'll have some for backup purposes just in case.
Yeah, good. Okay. Well, I think we've gotten to our end of our time here and everything. So if you don't have anything else that you'd like to discuss right now, we'll go ahead and wrap that up, and then also maybe look at doing or scheduling our next session. Does that work for you?
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I think I've talked plenty, so apologize for that.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm not sure at the moment what my schedule looks like next week, so maybe I can shoot you a message or something, and after I've had a chance to look at my calendar, and we can kind of go from there and get things scheduled. Is that okay with you?
That sounds perfect. That sounds great. So
Great. Awesome.
okay. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. I enjoyed visiting with you and everything, and I'm glad you survived your week. And hopefully your breathing app will help you here a little bit and try and regain some composure for the rest of your week.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you next week then, Michelle.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Dawn.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.